Learning R can be a difficult endeavor. There are a lot of things you must keep in mind to be able to use it smoothly. Let's take a look at what I mean. Let's say we wanted to know if there was a correlation between some statistics of roller coasters. We can use our data and story library to get this data. Now that we have data, let's fire up our studio. It's important to know that when using R, you need to specify your working directory. We can do this with the setwd command. The data was downloaded to a homework folder within a class folder, so we will set that as the working directory. We can verify that the working directory has been changed with the getwd command. From here, we will create a new R script file and save it in this directory. We're going to need to pull our data in using the read.table command, and there's some things to keep in mind here. Since we've set our working directory to be the same one we put our data in, we can just use the file name. We must specify how the data are separated in a row, and we have to specify the quote character because our data has single quote characters that are not meant to be used as quotes, but only as part of a name. Now we will create a variable to hold our correlation data. We will call it correlation, and assign it the value returned by the core function. If you don't know how the core function works or what it needs as arguments, you would have to look that up in our documentation. We are going to supply two arguments: a new data frame containing the columns of data we are interested in, and how we intend to use the correlation. For the use, we're going to use the pairwise.complete.obs setting because we want values in each row and column of our result, regardless of missing values in the data. Finally, we can use the print function to display the results. And now we can source our file, which will run our script. That wasn't terribly difficult per se, but we had to know some things going into it. Let's try the same thing using DataDesk. We'll go to our data and story library as before, and this time we'll use the open in DataDesk command to bring our data straight into DataDesk. We want the variable names to be as they are on the first row. Then we will select the variables we are interested in and click Correlation on the ribbon. We now have a correlation in DataDesk, but let's get it into R. From the correlation window, we are going to use the Hyperview menu, which is the sideways triangle at the top left of most windows in DataDesk. Go to Export, and we'll want to export our data first. This process in DataDesk will clean some things up to prepare data for R, such as changing the missing values to NA and renaming variables to fit R's variable naming convention and standards. We'll save this in the same directory with a slightly different name. Then go back to the Hyperview menu, Export, and now we'll go to R and to File, also saving it in the same directory. We'll go to the newly created script file and open it in our studio. Since we closed our studio, we'll need to set the working directory again. Remember that you could do this with the setwd command and can verify with the getwd command. When we click Source, we get the same thing as before, only this process was much quicker and no code needed to be typed.